Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to the Canadian Cattle Farmer on Chilliwack, British Columbia. And we're standing here in the field. We're going to jump into the New Holland in just a minute. We've got a whole of grass seed in the back of the planter. We've topped that all up with everything we need, fertilizer and seed, and we're going to get in here and tackle this field. Now I've made a decision, we're going to plant grass in this whole field. Reason for that is so we can make a good amount of grass silage. It's nice and handy to the yard, and once we get to building the feedlot, which is going in this section here, then we'll be able to just rip up the grass or plant it over the top of the grass, and it won't matter quite so much. And then the field over the road, directly over there, will be a good one for some corn to make some more silage. Again, nice and convenient to the yard, so easy to get in and out of. And then the other big field over in that direction will be our main one for some arable crops. So that is the plan. I'm going to jump into that in just a little bit. But before we do, I have some very exciting news. Thank you to everyone who suggested picking up this Lizard trailer that was in Mod Hub. It's an IT runner trailer, but it's for semi-trucks. And you can see we've got it hooked up there to a dolly and onto the back of the Mac. And we are able to run both feeders, both TMR mixers, to the feedlots or down into the animal pens and get the animals fed with both of these. So we can haul pretty much 52,000 litres of TMR in one trip. It doesn't load it automatically. That's the only downside, because we do tell it that it's delivering TMR realistic mix, and of course when it gets here to this point it is loading just the maize, so we do still have to manually do all the mixtures and everything like that. But for the small inconvenience of having to stop and do that every now and then, I'll take that any day of the week. Now we do intend to get all the animals fed today, get them all topped up as much as we can. Convenient thing is, if we're planting in this field, we can observe the truck when it comes back and is ready to be loaded up again, and we can just jump out of the planter, come over and top it up and send it off on its way again. So very quickly, I think this is just in need of a couple of silage bales and a straw bale, and then it'll be all good to go. We do also still need to make up the auto drive courses to get it down to the other 3 animal pens, but most of them already have an auto drive course to be able to get to the yard that goes with it, so it's only actually doing the little bit of the course at the other end, so we can still send the truck off and then go down and record those when it gets there. So we're going to jump in the Kubota very quickly, grab a couple of silage bales, grab a straw bale, and get this truck on its way. So there we are, we've got the mixer full up now. Just as proof of concept, we're just going to press play here, and it's heading on down to the cows. It's 94% full, and it will go down and get this total mixed fraction fed into them. Now the one thing we do have to do, as I said last time, is keep the mixers running, so they will always be up and running. But we're just going to ride along here very quickly in a little time lapse down the road and head on down to the farm straight down in front of us, where we've already fed the animals, just to show you how it all works, and then we don't have to worry about too much about observing every other field, or at least putting it in the video, every other pen I should say, and putting it in the video. We'll just show you that it has done it by looking at the animal feed levels at the end of the episode, because obviously my main focus is getting the grass planted in that field and then thinking about what we're going to be doing over the road. So let's just ride along very quickly, and we'll catch you down at the cattle pen. Alright, moment of truth. Now the truck went and proved me wrong there, clipping a couple of things on the way down, which is a little bit frustrating. But let's see if we do get in here and get some TMR unloaded from both. Well, there we go, there's the front mixer already doing its thing, so that is a good job. Now we just have to wait and make sure the back one does. So I can accept the few fine tuning that have been done on auto drive courses and auto drive routes. And when I ran it as a test, I had the front mixer empty, so whether the weight made a difference to the handling of the truck, I'm not quite sure, but we can certainly amend those and adjust those little collisions we had there. We'll let this one empty out, and then we'll see what happens with the back one, but hopefully when it gets to exactly the same spot it's going to do exactly the same thing, and then we'll be all good to get into this proper. And I'm not actually going to be able to show you how the back one works, because we've managed to put 60,000 litres of food in here, so it's actually now full. So I think let's send this guy down to another one of the farms, and we'll go and get the auto drive course all set up for that. Then we'll just have to go and show you when we get to the next one how the rear trailer unloads, but it does work, I can assure you. Well, after those little mishaps there, everything did work for me before. It's always frustrating when you do that. I could have edited it out, but I do want to show you that things do happen and we do have to make adjustments on the fly and get things to work, but it's always a fine-tuning process with auto drive course play. Any of those things where you're using the PC or the computer to run a little bit of the work for you. We're going to get into planting grass in here. You can see we've got that selected. We'll get that lowered down and should be able to make a start heading around this field. Now it should, well, it's going to take us a wee while. It's a pretty large field to be planting grass in, but like I said, we are going to have other tasks to do as we run around here waiting for the trucks to come back and need to get filled, and we're going to have to head off and do a couple of auto drive courses as we go. So we'll certainly be doing what we can when we can, and just keeping things moving as much as we can here in the farm. So we're just going to crack into this. We'll catch you probably when we head down. In fact, it'll be very soon, so we'll head down and get that truck set up. I've sent it down to field 203, which was the one just over the train tracks. We'll head down there and set up the auto drive course and have a look at how that trailer works. But we're just going to carry on here just a little bit, and next time we'll be down there at field 203. Well, let's see how we get on down here at field 203. I've set the auto drive course up and we're now racing in here at a great rate of knots, but we've just slowed down because I think the truck's detected a trigger, has it? I hope it has. We should hopefully start unloading any moment now. And there we are. It was a little bit further into the pen this time than the last one, which was interesting. The last trigger was much further back. There we are. That is unloading front hopper, so hopefully once this one's done, it shouldn't take too long. We'll get the back one moving forward and see if we can get that one emptied out as well. Alright, moment of truth. Front mixer's empty. Should drive forward to about the same spot and do exactly the same here on the back one. See, we can just spin around and see if we can catch it. And there it is. Perfect. The system works. So there we are, we've got both trailers, 52,000 potential litres of TMR being delivered at one time by the trucks. And when these feed pens only have a capacity of 60,000, then that should do a pretty good job of keeping them pretty fed. It's going to be a pretty daily exercise though to run these down, but 4 auto drive courses, 4 pens, 4 courses, 4 loads, not too bad to manage. I think it's going to make it a lot easier when we can do this all automatically and we can stay back at the yard and manage the loading and other things. So I guess there's nothing left to do now. We'll go jump back in the other tractor, leave this guy to find his way back to the yard, and one point when we're driving around we'll have to jump out and get them loaded up, get them down to the next of the cattle pens. But fantastic to have this up and running. So once again, thank you everyone who suggested the semi-trailer there with the IT runner. That has been a fantastic solution and a bit of a lifesaver for us. So let's carry on with getting some grass planted. We'll catch up with you again very soon. We're a little bit over halfway through the field here, just watching the truck making its way back into the yard again. That has been all 4 of the cattle pens have all now had a truckload of TMR. So we've got all the auto drive courses set up on all of them. Jump back and forth a little bit between loading and obviously getting the truck set up at each of the barns, which has taken a little bit longer, but now that we've got that all set up, I think it's going to be pretty efficient to be able to just run that, let him do his thing, and we'll just take care of whatever we're doing and let him get in. Now, is he going to make it in the entrance there? I think we need to fix that fence because it hasn't quite worked as well. It did came in one time, it got in no worries, but it looks like this time it might be stuck. But we're just going to carry on here. We don't have too much more to do, and we'll be able to get this field all finished off and have the grass done, and be able to move on into a new day and looking at some new activities next time. Here we are, just about finished in the field here. Got all the grass planted. This is quite a big field. It's going to be a fun one to do some silage in when it comes time to get this grass silage. We have to decide whether to do bales or loose silage. That might be something to consider. We've actually got a silage bagger. Maybe we could look at doing some bag silage for this rather than everything else. That might make it a bit easier to unload as well, because hopefully we could park the TMR mixers next to that and unload straight into them, but we'll have to figure that out, find out what the best way to do it is. Of course, we did put the bunkers down though, so we should be really considering using those at some stage. But we'll just head along the end here, get things finished off, folded up, and back over to the yard. Well, before we put this away in the shed, I think we'll give it a good clean off. We are going to need the planter, probably putting soybeans in the big field as our cash crop again. Looks like we're going to do pretty well off the soybeans we have. Although I better double check. I wonder if we could plant something we might make some money off a bit sooner. Of course, soybeans we have to wait till July, which is pretty much a full year, or it's a year and a half or more from now, a year and 3 months. If we were to plant them now until we'd actually get some money off them, which is a little bit of a that's a long wait for any income. So we'll have a look. We might come up with something different. Maybe some canola. We'll see what the pricing is like. Let's go and get this put away. I've got one more thing I want to do before we wrap things up for this episode. So we'll get this sorted and jump into the truck and go and do that. Look at the semi out. We have the bale trailer on the back. We're just heading down to the store. We're going to go and pick up some more silage bales and grass silage. Obviously, I think we've only got about 4 or 5 bales left at the yard, and we're going to need all of those and then some more to keep making our feed mix. So we'll go down and buy another load. I think there's still 2 down there from last time. So we'll go down and pick them up, buy another 32. If my calculations are correct, I think we fit 34 on the trailer. And we'll go and get those taken back down to the yard, ready to get the animals fed tomorrow, because as we skip forward another day, they are going to be hungry again. So we'll go and get these bales loaded up. There we go, 34 grass silage bales on our way back down to the farm. So that did cost us a better part of $18,000 or something like that. So it chews through our money. We do need to get that grass growing and get making our own silage. I certainly hope once these animals start producing some milk, we're actually going to get some money off them. That is the ideal plan. But we'll just get on back down to the yard, get this unloaded, and then we'll be all set up for the next episode. It'll be fantastic. Well, there we are, back here at the yard. We've got the bales unloaded. I haven't gone quite so close to the barn this time. Made it a little bit easier. And we're all good to go for next time. We've got a load of TMR already in. Well, not TMR, but we've got a load of maize silage in there ready to go. So we just need to get the bales in, and we'll be able to get back to feeding the animals. I'm not going to go through that every episode with the animals. It'll just be a summary that, yes, we've fed them, or no, we haven't. And we'll get it done. But that is us done for another episode here on Chilliwack, British Columbia, for the Canadian cattle farmer. It's good to have the grass planted in here. Now, the plan is next time when we're back is to plant the 2 fields over the road, one with corn, definitely corn, and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do in the big field yet. Like I said, soybeans, but we might look at something we can make some money off a little bit sooner than those. So we'll give that some consideration. But for me, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that episode, and I'll catch you in the next one.